Okay, Angus.
It was that moment that changed my life forever. I finally realised my dream no longer mattered to me as much as it did before, and at the same time, I knew I had much better things to look forward to. My name is Michael James, and before the end of last year, my dream was to compete at the 2020 Olympic Games in Tokyo. On the morning of the 9th of September 2014, I was going through a light training run at Sydney's Olympic Park on a beautiful summer's day, as I'd just come back from an athletics competition in Perth the day before. It was a week before my 17th birthday, and at that time, I was beginning to realise my Olympic potential as an 800 metre runner. That week, I competed at the Australian Junior Champs, where I placed first and ran a PB of 1:54.07, which is about 8 seconds off the Olympic qualifying time. At that time in my life, everything was good. Although I was an only child, I still had heaps of friends I enjoyed. I was doing pretty well at school, and I was taking all the right steps to eventually fulfilling my dream of becoming a professional athlete. And I was happy. I was happy with my life. The next part of my life changed me as a person forever. A few days after that training session at Sydney's Olympic Park, I was back on the northern beaches of Sydney. I got ready for school in the morning, said see you later to Mum, finished talking to Dad about last night's footy match, and then headed out the door like a normal day. Although something felt off. I couldn't pick it at the time. I felt an odd sick feeling throughout my body, a feeling like I'd never experienced before. I tried to get on with my day like normal and not let it worry me. Later that night, my dad suddenly passed away with me and my mum by his side at a Sydney hospital. The pain I felt that day was indescribable. As I tried to sleep that night, I kept myself awake crying and weeping. During the next few weeks, I didn't attend school or do any type of training. Some of those days, my mother and myself cried uncontrollably, and others we didn't cry at all because we were in incredible shock. We couldn't comprehend what a new life it was for us now. I don't remember much of those days after my dad's passing, except asking myself, why us? Why me? Why did he have to die? I reflected a lot on my life with my dad. He meant so much to me. He supported me in everything I did. He was always there for me, and he gave me valuable advice that I will keep forever while I'm on this earth. I remember thinking how Josie's life was so different because she didn't have a dad for the first 17 years of her life. During some of the most important years, she didn't have that dad that was there for her, that cared for her like a father should, supported her and did dad things like embarrass her in front of friends, tell dad jokes and do what loving fathers should do. I understand that not all dads are great loving fathers, but I just really thought how Josie missed a dad and would have enjoyed a loving father that cared for her in different ways to her mother. During this period of incredible grief and sadness, I began to realise that there's more to life than fulfilling dreams and getting what you want out of it. Our lives are so short when you think about the past and the future. I know now, for me, there is something greater that I'm longing for. Something greater than becoming an athlete and fulfilling my dreams. It has now been a year since my dad's passing, and as I look back on this last year, I now have new priorities. I'm beginning to worry less about this life and more about the next. Just last week, I watched a movie, Chariots of Fire, about a runner Eric Liddell, who chose to attend church on Sunday rather than compete in his pet event at the Olympics. I'm beginning to relate to this more and more. A few months ago, I woke from my bed. I went into Mum's room and saw her crying hysterically. I comforted her and we prayed together. And from that moment on, I realised going to the Olympics, it didn't really matter to me anymore. I knew I should still keep trying hard, working hard for my goals, but now I just have a different mindset and drive for competing. I know while this earth can be good at times, it can also be sad and heartbreaking. But I now know that this life is not all that's on offer, and that is what has really changed me.